woman never belongs to you. It's just your turn.
Rich guys and hot guys get cheated on like everybody else. You lost your edge, she lost attraction. That's how it works. Don't just give her your attention. Make her earn it.
What'd you think she was gonna do? Tell you she cheated?
Live from Philadelphia, your man, Donovan Sharpe.
What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the 505th episode of TSR Live, home of the most informed audience in the manosphere. We are presented by Gorilla Mind Rush, the #1 supplement on the market for focus, energy, and productivity. It is Monday, August 26, 2019. We are streaming live to YouTube and Twitter via Periscope. So however you are watching, wherever you are watching from, thank you for making the Sharpe Reality Live a part of your daily routine. Okay, let's get right to it. Today's topic was indirectly submitted by Rollo Tomasi again. I actually saw this article on his Twitter feed yesterday with a caption he wrote that said, "Dear men, abase thyself." So naturally, I was curious. I read the article, checked it out, and here we are. Now, we don't know who wrote the article because she decided to remain anonymous, which means she's an older female who is far less attractive than she used to be. Now, how can I make this assumption, you ask? Well, easy. If she were young and attractive, she'd have put her name and face on the article. You see, gentlemen, despite what older females may say out loud or post on social media, they know that they are in no position to make demands from men. They know that they are past the wall. They know that they've been ran through by men into the triple digits. And for this reason, they are acutely aware of the fact that they have forfeited their right to make any demands. Now, that certainly doesn't stop them from vocalizing their requirements, but deep down, they know the score. Which is why whoever wrote this post doesn't want us to know who she is, because if we did, people would quickly remind her that she is old, unattractive, and entitled. So she decided to pin this post as though she were 21 instead of north of 41, so that we will take her a little bit more seriously. Well, unfortunately, women these days aren't entitled to a damn thing, regardless of their age. So let's break this bad boy down and show females that this is not the way to get what you want and need out of a man. This article is from thoughtcatalog.com, and it is entitled, "Dear Men, this is why single women are sick of you." She starts off, she says, "Dear men, no thank you. Yes, I said it and I'll explain again. I am uninterested in casual sex with you. No thank you. There is no appeal to the nail-biting wait for a text message, since we all know a phone call is off the table after you sleep with me." When a female says that she is uninterested in casual sex with you, it means that she is definitely interested in casual sex with you. And the reason that men who are good with women understand this is because if a female you're out with says, "Just so you know, we're not having sex tonight," it means that sex is indeed on her mind. And if sex is on her mind, then she is clearly aroused by you and wants to have sex with you. Guys, no matter how much women try to hide the truth, they simply cannot. They will try, but they always leave a trail of breadcrumbs that eventually lead to the truth, if you're paying attention. Now, some breadcrumbs may be a little bit harder to see than others, but trust me when I tell you that they are there if you're fluent in womanese and are adept at accurately reading a woman's body language. And by the way, if you suck at reading a woman's body language, you need to sign up for MLD's Body Language Mastery Course. Guys, you have to understand this. Understanding a female's body language is quite literally the difference between success and failure with women. I don't know when Q3 is going up. I'm told it's going to be sometime soon. But if you didn't get your hands on the course last time, you need to get your hands on it now, because it is the game changer. Anyway, the fact that this woman says that she is uninterested in casual sex with men tells us that she's used this line before. And the men who actually took her at her word didn't sleep with her, and the men who read between the lines ran game accordingly and got the booty. Having been through this more times than she can count, but not realizing that she is indeed telegraphing her sexual interest, she thinks that by putting this phrase in an article means that we think that she's not interested in casual sex. Of course she is. All women are interested in casual sex with men they are aroused by. What she's doing here, guys, is right here in the beginning, is she's filtering out the men that she's not interested in. The men who will say, "Okay, I respect you. I will try to have sex with you tonight." Girls do this in person. They do this online, and they do this on dating apps. This reinforces one of the most pervasive doctrines in red pill awareness, which is, of course, never believe what a woman says, watch what she does. This woman has used this line hundreds of times and has given up the booty dozens of times, and she loved every minute of it. Yet, here she is, revealing that she's been passed around by reciting the first line of the Banana Gobbler's anthem word for word. Then, of course, she says she's waiting for a text message after a one-night stand. She says that's something unappealing. Now, in her defense, she's actually right. No, there isn't anything appealing about waiting for a guy to text her the next day to make her think that she was more than 3 holes for 22 minutes that he spent at her apartment. 5 of which, by the way, were spent getting dressed and undressed before he bounced. But where she is being ignorantly dishonest is that this is what turns women on. Guys, women love this torture. No, they certainly don't like it, and it's certainly not appealing. But banana gobblers like this, they always respond favorably to this kind of torment inflicted by the men she's aroused by, which is a telltale sign she's got a high body count. A woman of potential quality don't stick around when guys treat her like this because, number one, she doesn't sleep with guys on the first date in the first place, and number two, they don't reward this kind of behavior. They don't give guys more attention when they run asshole game or treat her like crap all the time. So here's lesson number 1, gents. Never commit to a woman who rewards bad behavior. No, I'm not talking about exhibiting traditional masculinity like raising your voice when necessary, letting her know that her behavior isn't feminine, or telling her she's gaining weight and that she needs to handle it if she wants to keep you around. No. I'm talking about douchebag, jerkboy, PUA behavior, like acting like you don't care when you actually do and texting back one-word answers every 3 hours. Now, if she treats you well when you treat her like garbage, do not make her your girlfriend, guys. Trust me when I tell you that you will regret it. Speaking of acting like you don't give a bleep, let's continue. Let's continue with the article. She says, quote, "There is nothing delicious about hoping that you give a bleep or having to play it cool because I do give a bleep." So she lets us know again that she's been passed around by bad boys by the dozen. "I want to go on dates," she continues. Yes, dates, not hangouts. That distinction is important because a hangout could mean that we're going to walk around a mall like we did at 14 when our moms were only our only means of transportation. A hangout implies that we're bros. I have enough friends, sir. No, thank you. You know, demanding dates seems to be a growing trend among today's banana gobblers. They're becoming more and more vocal about their desire to be wined and dined. I saw a meme posted by a female a few days ago that said, "Can we go back to guys holding doors, pulling out chairs, and holding hands because they like you?" And my response to that is when the hell did you ever give guys like this the time of day in the first place? How can you go back to something you clearly didn't like based on your actions before? Today's women acting like they would reward gentlemanly behavior with their bodies, their attention, and their loyalty. That's like a man saying that he would marry a woman who cheated on him every week of their relationship. Requiring dates, that is simply a ploy that women use for a couple of reasons. Number 1, to make men think that they are quality women. And number 2, to get free meals. Red pill aware or not, dudes are starting to figure out that they don't have to take girls out to get easy sex out of them, and women don't like it. They don't like they figured this out. They don't like that their code's been cracked. They don't like that we already know that they're going to give it up anyway, so we act accordingly and refuse to buy what we can get for nothing. This is where the law of supply and demand has come back to bite women in their collective ass. Pun may or may not be intended, depending upon what you're into. I'm not judging. Anyway, because there's such an abundance of easy sex available to men these days, this makes the commodity of sex a lot less valuable. And of course, the less valuable something is, the less people are willing to pay for it. This is simple math. But this is what women wanted. They wanted sexual freedom, and they got it. But the unintended consequence is that the sexual liberation, what that's done is that's created a market that is completely saturated with females who don't require anything, much less a date, to give it up. So let me get this straight. This post-wall female who gave her body to hordes of men for next to nothing when she was in her 20s, which, by the way, was the time she should have and could have required more, now wants men to take her on dates before she sleeps with them? She wants men to pay more for something less valuable when she gave something more valuable away for free? Dude, get the hell out of here with that. Men ain't paying for something that everybody's already gotten for free. So here's lesson number 2, and this one's for the ladies. Ladies, if you want men to take you on dates, then stop sleeping with men before they take you on dates. Understand this, ladies. Wanting to have sex doesn't make you a banana gobbler. Being horny doesn't make you a cucumber connoisseur. Getting aroused by a guy doesn't make you an eggplant enthusiast. But acting on your sexual desires every time you get the itch does. It's not a sin to want to have sex. You're human. It happens. It's how you're designed. But not showing temperance in the face of temptation every single time does not make you deserving of dates. It makes you deserving of something else that starts with the letter D. Do you guys want to know how I'm able to work out, crank out this high quality content, and advise men day in and day out? Well, I will tell you how, as somebody always calls me during the show. It's Gorilla Mind Rush. That's how. Gorilla Mind Rush is without a doubt the very best energy, focus, and productivity supplement I have ever used. You guys know I never endorse products I do not use myself, and Gorilla Mind Rush is no different. All it takes is 3 tablets, and I am good to go for the rest of the day. I hit the weights, I jump on my bike, crank out a few serious miles, I come home, I prepare for the show, I do my show, then do multiple consultations, and I still have enough juice to handle my business later on that night, if you guys know what I mean. And what I've recently actually discovered about Gorilla Mind Rush is that it's non-habit forming. If I don't take it, I feel fine. There's no withdrawal, there's no dependency. Now, you're a superhero with Gorilla Mind Rush, but you are just fine without it. If you want to kick life's ass and support the show while you're doing it, go to donovansharpe.com/Gorilla Mind Rush. Again, that's donovansharpe.com/Gorilla Mind Rush. When you say you want to take me on a date, she continues, I know you're taking it seriously and that I'm not going out with some 19-year-old kid, which wasn't appealing even when I was 19, she puts in parentheses. I want you to ask me out a few days before and plan something. I want you to put some effort into dating me. I don't need flowers, but God damn it, some sign that you care would be nice. Well, the anonymous author reinforces yet another immutable truth about the dating market, which is that young women are much more attracted to men who are older than they are. Yes, any given 20-year-old female will have sex with guys who are in their age range. But by and large, young women tend to be much more likely to commit to older men than guys their own age. But here's where the rubber meets the road in this particular paragraph. She says she wants guys to ask her out a few days before and plan something to show that they care. Gentlemen, this is beta bait, and I'll tell you what. Today's women put men into one of two categories, okay? The ones that they will use for all of their non-sexual needs and the ones they will use for all of their sexual needs. Well, why do women do this, Donovan? Why don't they just commit to one man that they use for all of their sexual needs and call it a day instead of having to juggle two? Oh, they do. Or at least they try to. But because men without commit to a woman until they're damn good and ready, and she proves herself over an extended period of time, women know these guys aren't going to take them out. They know these men aren't going to give them rides. They know these men have no interest in helping them move or doing favors for them or talking about their feelings for 4 hours on the phone. So to compensate for what she's not getting from the alphas in her life, she gets them from the betas in her life. And the telltale sign of a beta male is a man who sets up a date 3 and 4 days after he approached her. And during those 4 days when he is planning the date, she's gobbling bananas, including on the night of the date. Well, how can this be, Donovan? How could she go on 2 dates on the same night with 2 different men? She's not. You see, at 5 o'clock, she goes on a date with a guy who put in the effort into planning the date and acting like he cared. He'll tell her how pretty she is and how lucky he is to be sitting with her and all the rest of that. He'll tell her it's so refreshing to meet a low maintenance girl who doesn't wear makeup. He'll listen to her drone on and on about her abusive, controlling ex she kept going back and forth to, even though he was also sleeping with her best friend. He'll tell her she deserves better and that her ex is a bad guy and doesn't deserve a queen like her. He'll pay the $114 dinner tab, which, by the way, included 3 margaritas, one of which she ordered when he went to the bathroom without his permission. And he'll drive her home. He'll kiss her on the cheek. He'll thank her for a wonderful evening and tell her that he'd love to take her out again, and she, of course, will accept this offer. Now, when he leaves, she'll shower and shave. She'll put on makeup. She'll wipe off the lip gloss so she can slather on red lipstick. She'll take off her jeans and t-shirt and pour herself into a skirt so short it won't need to come off during sex, which she's hoping for. She'll put on a tube top that can easily pulled up or down. She'll take out her ponytail and curl her hair just the way he likes it, and she'll put in the hoop earrings he also said that he likes. And finally, she'll take off the flip-flops she wore on her date and put on the 7-inch heels she can barely walk in. She didn't plan on doing much walking. Then she picks up her phone and texts her ex to ask him whether or not he wants her to wear panties when she comes over in a half an hour. So no, she's not going on 2 dates with 2 men on the same night. She goes on 1 date with one guy and gets her back blown out by the other. And I can guarantee you that guy number 2 does not call it a date. She continues, she says, after that date, call. It's not that hard. It's refreshing, she says. The 2-day waiting period should be a myth. Unfortunately, it is not. But think about how silly it is. Oh my God, that woman was amazing and I definitely want to see her again. But instead of just making it happen, I'm going to make her sit around and wonder if I like her or not. Following through shouldn't be a rarity. Oh, but it's not a rarity, sweet cheeks. In fact, most guys do call after the date. Most guys don't give you the 2-day waiting period. Most guys don't make you sit around and wonder whether or not you like him. Most guys do follow through. Your problem, miss, is that guys who do these things are the guys you ghost on. They're the guys you flake on. They're the guys you move dates up to the afternoon for so that they can feed you and buy you drinks, because the guy you're going to meet with later on, the guy who doesn't take you out on dates, the guy who doesn't call you back after he plows you and kicks you out of his place, the guy who actually leaves you wondering whether or not he likes you, he doesn't feed you or buy you drinks. And a girl's got to eat, right? This woman's problem is twofold. Number 1, she wants beta behavior from alpha males, and that ain't happening. Number 2, like all Western women, she shits on guys who treat her like a lady. These road-worn women out here expecting men to just all of a sudden start treating them like princesses simply because they've decided to stop giving their bodies away to anything with a Y chromosome and a pulse is pathetically laughable. Ain't nobody calling you back, sweetie. You've had your share of callbacks. You've had your share of men following through. Countless men have communicated their interest in you early and often, but all they got in return was the finger. So yeah, as long as you continue to reward men who treat you like the gum on the bottom of a shoe, they're going to continue to treat you the way you deserve to be treated, which is not like a lady. And you want to know what? You'll beg for more because you love this torture, ladies, and you know you do. I want you to be honest, she continues. Whoa, scary, I know, but here's the thing. We are both adults. I don't need you to tell me what you think I want to hear. No, thank you. I can call my mom and have her tell me I'm pretty if I really need to hear it. The idea that you feel like you need to tell me something you don't believe just so you can get into my pants is ridiculous. If I want to sleep with you, she says, I will. It's totally that simple. I don't need to hear some long rambling speech about how incredible you think I am when, in reality, you're just trying to bust a nut. I would rather know upfront what you're interested in. If we go out and you don't want to see me again and brace yourself, she says, because this is hard to understand, don't tell me that you do. Believe it or not, women don't want to be lied to. I'm not going to tell you some fairy tale story about how wonderful you are if I don't think it. Let's start from the top here. First of all, dudes with game never tell a woman she's pretty. They know that these girls get told they're pretty from sunup till sundown. Secondly, men who tell women how incredible they think they are the men they ignore for the men who don't. Third, girls go absolutely mental when men are honest with them about not wanting to see them again because they never handle rejection well. You see, gentlemen, women do want to be lied to, but once again, they want to be lied to by the men they want. And the men they want will never tell them they're pretty or amazing. Once again, she wants beta behavior from alpha males. She's had dozens of dudes blow sunshine up her ass, but not the men she wants. So here's lesson number 3. Women only want honesty if it doesn't hurt their feelings. Girls are steady moaning and groaning about, be honest with me, be real with me. But as soon as you tell her, look, sweetie, it's been fun, but I don't want to see you anymore. It's OMG, you asshole! She continues. She says, please don't freak out. If I want to talk to you, I like you. Stop panicking. If you don't like me back, see above, she says. It's okay if we talk. It's okay if you want to talk to me or want to see me again. Don't wait until it's too late to decide you want me. Now she tells a story. I was seeing this guy for a while, a couple of years back, and we did the whole playing it cool and casual sex thing off and on for almost a year. Well, he did, she puts in parentheses. I had no issue with being like, hi, I like you. I hope that's okay. I knew he liked me back, she said. Honestly, we were a good match, but he waited until he moved 3,000 miles away to admit having feelings for me. What's even more alarming, what's even more alarming is that even though we've had the discussion about where we both stand, he's still timid. He's still weird about being anything other than bro-y about it. Never heard of that before. The last time I saw him, we went out on this sweet date, and the next day he was so uncomfortable with me. Why? Who gives a bleep? Can someone please explain to me what is so scary or shameful about having feelings and being willing to express them? I don't need to have a 45-minute daily discussion about the fuzzy wuzzies, but I shouldn't be afraid to terrify you if I have an emotion other than horniness. I won't tell anyone if it's something you're embarrassed about, but you are capable of having feelings, aren't you? Since you seem to be feigning ignorance here, whoever you are, disembodied author, and pretending you don't know the answer to your question, allow me to humor you and any other female watching or listening and explain why exactly it is so scary and shameful about expressing feelings for a woman. When a man expresses feelings for a woman they're seeing, a funny thing starts to happen. All of a sudden, she doesn't call or text quite so often. She's more entitled. She's more short-tempered. She's more disrespectful. Now, before he told her he had feelings for her, she wanted to spend time with him. She wanted to make him happy. She wanted to make sure that he knew that she was his and only his. But after he tells her he likes her, she wants to go to the club with her friends instead of staying in with him. Instead of doing her damnedest to make sure she was his and nobody else's, now she wants to make him wonder about whether or not he's the only guy she's sleeping with. You see, ladies, when we tell you and show you that we like you and that we care, you do a complete 180. You stop doing the things that made us like you in the first place. But when we stay all bro-y, you can't get enough of us. So much, in fact, that it appears that you'll stick around for a solid year hoping against all hope that we will one day confess our love to you. Even if we move 3,000 miles away, you still go out on sweet dates with us and sleep with us when we're in town, and sometimes you fly cross country to see us. So why on God's green earth would a man who's gotten the proverbial finger from all of the women he has ever told he has feelings for continue to make that same mistake? Why would a man ignore what women have been telling us with their actions all of our lives? Which is, please don't tell me you have feelings for me. If you do, I will stop returning your calls and texts. I will withdraw my affections. I will give you less sex. I will become more neurotic and disrespectful, and I will make your life a living hell. The reason I do this is because when you tell me you like me, you become a conquered mountain, and those are boring. So if you want me to continue giving you my best, never tell me how you truly feel, because if you do, I promise I will make you pay dearly. That's why. In general, she continues, it seems like there is an unwillingness for men to be men. I'm not talking about when you guys take us out and open doors. That's sweet and all, but that's not it. I'm talking about the unwillingness to connect, to be vulnerable, to step up. I am flabbergasted, she says, by how few men will take responsibility for their emotional choices and for the damage they leave behind post-relationship. Please don't get me wrong, she says. Women aren't innocent of dating crimes. Oh my goodness, did this woman just admit that women are not innocent little snowflakes and butterflies? Who knew? There are women, she says, who will bail, ghost, use, cheat, and manipulate, lie. People tend to suck in general, but obviously it's not everyone. I'm aware that there are men in the great wide somewhere who don't act like idiots. Otherwise, the human race would have ended centuries ago. So here's my request. Surprise me, she says. Surprise the girl you're dating. Be real. Pretend like there are TV cameras waiting with bated breath for your emotional honesty. Share like there's $1 million commercial deal waiting at the end of the season. It might work out for you, she says. Sincerely, a bitch who seriously ain't got no time for that. Oh, this is hilarious. So she points out what she characterizes as an unwillingness of men to be men and be vulnerable and to connect and to step up, which, by the way, is the second line in the Banana Gobblers anthem. But she wants to moan and groan about the damage men leave in their wake, but then turn around and say, okay, I understand that women do it too, but I still want you to surprise me. I still want to be treated better. Is she serious with this? Did she really just gloss over and minimize the deplorable, licentious, disgusting behavior that just about every woman exhibits in just about every single relationship they're in? Did she really just acknowledge that women are absolutely terrible wives and girlfriends, but then turn around and say that people tend to suck in general in a feeble attempt to put men and women in the same category? Yeah, gentlemen, she did. And so does every other woman who believes they still have the right to request that men treat her like a princess, even though she's acted like a concubine up until about an hour ago. Then she gets all pithy with her cute little sign-off. Sincerely, a bitch who seriously ain't got time for that. Oh, how cute. Newsflash, darling, you had all the time in the world for that 20 years ago, and you chose to continue your banana gobbling ways. At your age, you have neither the time nor the sexual market value for that. Request denied, ho. Go back to getting used and abused by the men you're complaining about. And if you just believe in yourself, if you just truly believe that you can make a man of value realize what he's been missing and forego his perverted taste for young, attractive females in favor of 49ers like you, it might work out for you. What's a 49er? Google Coach Greg Adams. You're welcome. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next time.